Have you ever looked at an empty bottle, thinking, this could go to waste? But what if I told you that bottle, instead of ending up in a landfill, could be the key to transforming your garden into something truly beautiful? Imagine taking something as simple as a plastic bottle and turning it into a stunning piece of art that not only adds life to your garden but also gives you a sense of accomplishment and creativity. If that sounds exciting, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to show you 10 incredible recycled bottle projects that are perfect for seniors. These projects are simple, fun, and most importantly, they allow you to create something beautiful with your own hands. Whether you're looking for a new hobby, or simply want to make your outdoor space more inviting, these ideas are perfect for anyone who wants to stay active and creative. Welcome to Age Gracefully After 70, where we share tips and transformations that help you live your best life. If you enjoy our video today, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more inspiring content like this. Now, let's dive into the world of recycled bottle garden art. So, why recycled bottles? For many of us, as we get older, we may not be able to do some of the things we used to, like lifting heavy planters or spending hours in a garden center. But here's the beauty of these projects: they're light, affordable, and can be adapted to any ability level. And more than that, they're a great way to keep the mind sharp and the hands busy. Let me share a quick story with you. I once met a woman, Ellen, who had been a gardener her entire life. But as she grew older, she found it harder to tend to her beloved flower beds. One day, her daughter gave her a set of recycled plastic bottles and showed her how to make a flower pot using them. At first, Ellen was skeptical, but after a few attempts, she was hooked. Not only did she have a new hobby, but her garden became more colorful than ever. And the best part? She was able to create something unique, using only what she had around her. It gave her a sense of purpose and joy every time she looked at her creation. Let's start with something simple and very rewarding: recycled bottle planters. Have you ever wanted to grow flowers or herbs in your garden, but felt like you didn't have enough space or the right tools? This is where a recycled bottle planter can really shine. Whether it's a plastic soda bottle or an old detergent bottle, you can cut them in half, fill them with soil, and use them to plant flowers, herbs, or even small vegetables. I know it sounds too simple to be true, but trust me, the results are truly remarkable. These planters don't take up much space, and they're a fantastic way to recycle and make something practical. For seniors, they're easy to manage and allow you to keep gardening without the heavy lifting. I remember one gentleman in his 80s, Sam, who used to struggle with bending over and planting. But once he discovered bottle planters, he found he could hang them at just the right height on a fence, making it effortless to tend to his plants. It not only gave him back his love for gardening, but it also brought new life to his backyard. Now, if you're thinking, this sounds great, but I'm not the artistic type, don't worry. You don't have to be a professional gardener or artist to get creative with your recycled bottles. In fact, some of the most beautiful garden pieces are simple and easy to make. Take recycled bottle bird feeders as another example. Using just a bottle, a few sticks, and some string, you can create a charming bird feeder that attracts wildlife to your garden. It's such a rewarding project because not only are you recycling, but you're also giving back to nature. Watching the birds come and go will make you feel like you've done something really special. I'll never forget another senior, Linda, who had always wanted to attract more birds to her garden. She made her own bird feeder from a recycled bottle, and before long, the birds were flitting about, bringing life and movement to her backyard. Linda told me it was the most fulfilling thing she'd done in years, to give back to nature and watch her garden come alive. Now, let's transition into a slightly different kind of project, one that can add a whole new dimension to your garden: recycled bottle garden sculptures. Have you ever wondered how people make those vibrant, eye-catching sculptures in their gardens? Well, you might be surprised to learn that many of them are made from recycled bottles. You can create flowers, animals, or even abstract art with just a little creativity and some colorful bottles. What's incredible about these sculptures is that they're completely customizable. You can make them as big or small as you like, and they add such a unique and whimsical touch to your space. One of my friends, Eleanor, started creating these bottle sculptures after she saw a garden art exhibit at a local museum. She wasn't sure she could pull it off, but with a bit of practice, she was soon creating stunning pieces, everything from colorful flower arrangements to small birds perched on a fence. I remember her telling me how proud she was of the first sculpture she completed, a bright red flower, that now stood proudly by her front door. It made her feel like an artist again, and every time she walked past it, she couldn't help but smile. So, you see, recycled bottle projects can be a fantastic way to get creative, stay active, and make a real difference in your garden. Whether it's planters, bird feeders, or sculptures, the possibilities are endless. And what's most important is that you're doing it all with items you would have otherwise thrown away, turning waste into something beautiful. Now that we've covered the first few projects, planters, bird feeders, and sculptures, let's move on to some even more exciting ideas. Stick around because we'll be diving into more creative ways to bring your garden to life with recycled bottles. You won't want to miss it. Let's continue with something that is both useful and beautiful: recycled bottle garden watering systems. Have you ever felt that your plants just weren't getting enough water? Or maybe you're not always able to go out and water them as much as you'd like. If that sounds familiar, this next project is perfect for you. You can easily create a drip irrigation system using a few simple plastic bottles. This project is especially great for seniors, as it reduces the effort of daily watering and ensures your plants get a consistent amount of water. All you need is a plastic bottle, a pin or needle to make a few small holes, and a few basic tools. Once you poke the holes in the bottle, simply bury it upside down in the soil near your plants, and fill it up with water. The water will slowly seep out, keeping your plants hydrated for days. I spoke to Harry, a lovely gentleman in his 70s, who had always struggled with watering his garden during the hot summer months. After setting up a few bottle watering systems, he said it made a world of difference. Not only did it save him time and energy, but he also noticed that his plants were healthier and more vibrant. And the best part? It made him feel like he was still contributing to the beauty of his garden, even when he couldn't be outside as much as he wanted. But maybe you're someone who likes to add a bit of sparkle and personality to your garden. If that's the case, you'll absolutely love the idea of recycled bottle garden lights. There's something magical about a garden that glows at night, don't you think? And the great news is that you don't need fancy store-bought lights to achieve this effect. You can easily turn old bottles into colorful lanterns or string lights that light up your garden in a way that feels personal and unique. What makes this project even more special is that you can get creative with the bottles you use. Different colors, shapes, and sizes all come together to create a beautiful effect. You can make hanging lanterns, line them up along a garden path, or even create a centerpiece for your outdoor dining table. It's a wonderful way to transform your space, especially during those warm summer evenings when you want to enjoy the outdoors with family or friends. I'll never forget the first time I saw Margaret's garden lit up with her homemade bottle lights. She had taken an assortment of old glass bottles and turned them into a series of stunning lanterns. When the sun set, her garden was filled with soft, glowing light, and it made the entire space feel like a magical oasis. Margaret, who had been a little hesitant at first, was overjoyed by the end result. It was one of those moments that made her feel like she could still create something beautiful and share it with others. Now, let's talk about another project that's not only fun, but also great for those who enjoy a bit of a challenge: recycled bottle vertical gardens. If you have limited space or want to make the most out of your garden, vertical gardening is a fantastic option. And, with recycled bottles, it's an incredibly cost-effective way to create a stunning garden feature that saves space while showcasing your favorite plants. There are a few ways you can create a vertical garden using bottles. Some people choose to hang the bottles along a wall or fence, while others opt for stacking them in a creative arrangement. This project works particularly well with herbs, small flowers, or even strawberries. Once the bottles are secured, you simply fill them with soil and plants, and watch as your garden grows upwards instead of outwards. I remember talking to Shirley, who had a tiny apartment with just a small balcony. She always dreamed of having a lush garden but didn't have much room for it. After trying out the vertical bottle garden idea, she was thrilled with how much greenery she could fit into such a small space. Her balcony, which had once seemed barren, was soon overflowing with flowers, herbs, and even a few tomatoes. She couldn't believe how much joy it brought her to watch the plants thrive, and it became a great conversation starter when she invited friends over. If you've been looking for a way to maximize your space, this is the perfect project for you. It's practical, efficient, and, best of all, brings that sense of accomplishment when you see how much life you've added to your environment. And, speaking of making the most of small spaces, let's talk about recycled bottle garden borders. Have you ever wanted to add a little structure to your garden, but didn't want to spend a lot of money on expensive fences or stone borders? Recycled bottles are a great way to create beautiful, unique borders that will define your garden beds and pathways. The idea is simple. By burying the bottom half of the bottle into the soil, you can create a neat, colorful border that keeps your plants separated from the rest of your yard. You can even use different colored bottles for a more artistic, vibrant look. This project is not only easy to do, but it's also an excellent way to reuse bottles that would otherwise be thrown away. One of my friends, Doris, decided to try this project in her garden, and she couldn't have been happier with the result. She created a long, winding border along her flower beds, using a mix of clear and tinted bottles. The effect was striking, and it gave her garden an extra layer of charm and character. Plus, every time she walks by, she feels a sense of pride knowing that she made something beautiful and practical with her own two hands. As you can see, there are so many wonderful ways to incorporate recycled bottles into your garden projects. Whether you're creating watering systems, lights, vertical gardens, or borders, the possibilities are endless. The beauty of these projects is that they're not just about being creative, they're about bringing new life to your garden, staying active, and feeling accomplished. Now that we've explored some of the fun and creative ways to transform your garden with recycled bottles, it's time to dive into a few more exciting projects that will make your outdoor space not only beautiful but also incredibly unique. These final ideas are the perfect finishing touches to any garden, and they're just as easy to create as the ones we've already discussed. First up, let's talk about recycled bottle flower arrangements. This is one of the easiest and most rewarding ways to use recycled bottles in your garden, and it can instantly brighten up your space. All you need is a variety of plastic or glass bottles, some scissors, and your favorite flowers. You can cut the bottles to different heights and create beautiful, colorful arrangements that can be placed along pathways, near your front door, or in hanging baskets. The best part about this project is that you can get as creative as you want. For example, you could turn a bottle into a vase by cutting it in half and adding water, or you could use several bottles together to create a larger arrangement. Some people even paint their bottles to add an extra pop of color before arranging flowers inside. It's a simple way to add life and vibrancy to your garden, and it's incredibly satisfying to see your flowers blooming in these unique vases made by your own hands. I remember meeting Edna, a woman in her late 70s, who had always loved flowers but had trouble bending over to plant them in her garden. After she tried making bottle flower arrangements, she was amazed at how easy it was to create a beautiful display without all the heavy lifting. Not only did it bring a fresh burst of color to her space, but Edna also felt incredibly proud of herself for turning simple bottles into something so lovely. Every time she looks at her flower arrangements, she smiles, knowing that she made it all herself. Next, let's move on to another fantastic recycled bottle project, recycled bottle trellises. If you have climbing plants like peas, beans, or even flowers that like to climb, a trellis is a great way to give them the support they need to grow tall and strong. And guess what? You can easily build a beautiful trellis using recycled bottles. By attaching the bottles to a wooden frame or simply hanging them from a wire or string, you create a sturdy structure that will help your plants grow vertically. This project not only provides a great support system for your climbing plants but also creates a visually striking feature in your garden. You can experiment with different bottle colors to create a colorful and dynamic trellis that stands out in the yard. The best part is that it's inexpensive and simple to make. It's the perfect project for seniors who want to combine functionality with creativity. I think back to a lovely couple, Jack and Ruth, who had a small backyard but wanted to grow more vegetables. They decided to create a bottle trellis for their peas and beans. Not only did the plants thrive on their new trellis, but the structure itself became a focal point in their garden. Every time they harvested their vegetables, they felt a deep sense of pride knowing they had made the trellis themselves using recycled bottles. Now, let's move on to something that will really bring a sense of tranquility to your garden: recycled bottle fountains. Imagine sitting outside on a warm evening, enjoying the sound of water trickling down from a beautiful fountain, right in your own backyard. Creating a small, DIY fountain using recycled bottles can be a truly peaceful project, and it doesn't require much to make it work. All you need is a plastic bottle, a small pump, which can be found at most garden stores, and a little creativity. You can stack the bottles to create a cascading effect or arrange them in a way that the water flows from one to the other. The gentle sound of water can help create a calming atmosphere in your garden, making it the perfect spot to relax and unwind. I remember talking to Frank, who built his own bottle fountain as part of his retirement project. After working for so many years in a busy office, he wanted something peaceful to enjoy in his backyard. Once he finished his fountain, Frank said it was the best decision he made. He found himself spending more time in the garden, reading, or simply listening to the soothing sound of the water. It became his little oasis, a place to relax and reflect. Finally, we come to recycled bottle garden murals, a true masterpiece for any backyard. This is a fantastic project if you want to make a bold statement in your garden. By attaching different colored bottles to a wooden frame or a sturdy wall, you can create a mosaic-like design that can be as intricate or as simple as you like. Whether you want to create an abstract design, a floral pattern, or even a picture of a bird or tree, a bottle garden mural is a beautiful and one-of-a-kind addition to any garden. Creating a mural with bottles can take some time and effort, but it's definitely worth it when you see the finished product. It's like turning your garden into a work of art that will last for years. And the great thing about this project is that it can be as big or small as you want, from a small section of your garden to an entire wall that becomes the centerpiece of your yard. I spoke with Sarah, who made a beautiful garden mural featuring a colorful tree made entirely from recycled bottles. She had always loved art but never thought she could make something so grand in her own garden. When she finished the mural, Sarah was overjoyed. It became a beautiful focal point that everyone admired, and it brought a sense of fulfillment and joy that she hadn't felt in a long time. As we wrap up today's video, I want you to take a moment and think about the possibilities. What could you create in your garden with just a little creativity and a few recycled bottles? Whether it's a flower arrangement, a trellis, a fountain, or even a mural, the possibilities are endless. And the best part? You can do it all at your own pace, in your own time, and enjoy the process as much as the result. Remember, it's not just about recycling, it's about finding joy, staying active, and making your garden a reflection of who you are. No matter your age, you can create something beautiful, meaningful, and uniquely yours. So go ahead, pick up that bottle, and start your next project today. If you enjoyed this video and feel inspired, please like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what projects you're most excited to try. We'd love to hear about your creative journey, and we can't wait to share more ideas with you. Here's to living your best life at any age, one bottle at a time.